Hello there. In this series of tutorials, we are going to talk about Microsoft Office packages. These include Microsoft Office Word, Microsoft Office Publisher, PowerPoint, Excel, Access, OneNote, and so many others. I'll only focus on those which are primary, and we'll begin with Microsoft Office Word. Now, before I load, I'm going to create a directory here on the desktop by the name of Microsoft Office Word. And just before that, I want to assume the following: that one, you have general knowledge about the use of computer, and two, that you know how to create files. That's what you're going to do. If you know how to create files and folders, also known as directories, then there's no problem. Here you can go. Now I'm going to Control Shift then N to create a new folder here on the desktop, and then I'll rename that. Now if you don't want to do that, by the way, there are two ways of creating a folder. One is by right clicking anywhere on the desktop, choose new and then folder, and here we have another folder, a new folder. According to the conventional way, Windows will always name the folders using this new folder and then the number here indicating the new folder number if you don't give them a name. For example, I created this first one by using Control Shift N, but this one I just used the mouse to create, so I think I'll delete this one. So I want to permanently delete. If you want to permanently delete, just Shift then delete key and then enter to delete that. I want to rename this folder here. So if you'd like to rename a folder, you can simply right click on it and then choose rename down here, or otherwise you can also press F2 and it should rename, should provide you with renaming. So I'll press F2 and there we go. We are going to rename this. Let me call it Microsoft Office Word. And then hit enter, and again I'm going to hit enter to open the folder. And now from here, all I want to do is to create a file for Microsoft Office Word. Now there are two ways, or maybe three ways, of creating the Microsoft Office Word document. And the first one, or file, the first one, I'm going to right click here and then in our folder and then come to new, and then I'll come here and you see we have Microsoft Office Word. Make sure you choose this, because if you don't, if you choose this text document, then it's going to behaviorally be different. Also, if you choose, sometimes you may see an option of rich text here. If you see an RTF here, or rich text format, it may also be opened by Microsoft Office Word without a problem, but I want to emphasize that for uniformity, just use the Microsoft Word document. Now apart from that, there's also, that is actually like a shortcut way of creating that. So let us just do that, and then new, and then document, and there we have our document. Let me just rename that to lesson 1. And then there is now the main method, main way of creating a document, and all you're gonna do is simply come here to this Windows, down here to this Windows or Start button, on the Windows button, and you can also click the, you can press the Windows button on the keyboard. So there we go, and from here I want to search Word. Here it is. I have Word, and then I have some of my documents on this other side, but then I want us to focus on this one. Now we have templates down here, several of them by the way, templates here, And templates are simply blueprints which are already created for you so that you can simply insert your content, and then there you go. So they give you a place to start with, but I don't think that will be the best way for us to begin this. I want us to start on a clean plate, they say, and therefore I'll choose a blank document. And there we go, we have a blank document here. Now this blank document by default is called document 1, but I wouldn't like to call it document 1. I want to save it something else, as something else. I want to give it another title. So what I'm gonna do is come here to File, and then I'll choose Save. And by the way, when you come here to save, we have two types of saving. We have save as, then we have save. I think I'll come to that a little bit later on. So let us just choose save as. And now I have to look for my directory. It's on the desktop. So we have here these quick access or recent folders which have been used. So I'll click on that, and then we see it's called doc1. I'll change that in a while, but before that, let me just choose where I'd like to save it. And I want to save it on Microsoft Office Word. So I'm going to open that by double clicking on it, and we have lesson 1. That's the document that we created earlier. Now I want to create another new document. Let me call this one lesson 1, or just LSN 1 for lesson 1, simply that way. And now from there, I'm going to click here on save. And once I click on save, it's going to save this file, the file which we opened, as LSN1 inside our directory. So let's go, and there we are. We have now our file is now called LSN1 Word document. Now there's something I'd like us to look at. Let me just close this Word document again, and when we come to our folder here on our directory, we have now two files, LSN1, lesson 1 and LSN1. Now traditionally, or for those people who used maybe Microsoft, earlier versions of Microsoft Office, these Word documents used to have an extension of .doc, and I just want to show you that extension here. So I'll come here, select any, right click, then look at its properties, and as you can see, this file is .docx. That is its extension. Long time ago, not very long time ago by the way, just a few versions from this, we had .doc, which were like the older files for Microsoft Office Word. But now we have .docx, means .doc extended, means we have extended features on this Microsoft Office Word compared to the earlier versions which were just .doc. But anyway, even if you come across a file that ends with .doc, since it is still a Microsoft Office Word file, then it's going to open, but it may not have some more functions the way the most current ones have. By the way, I'm using Microsoft Office 2016, and I want to assure you that whatever we are going to do in this lesson should just work fine on whichever Microsoft Office Word version that you'll be using. So that is it with the extension. And now let me just open this file and show you exactly how we can create another new file. Now for example, if you are on this file and then you want to create another file, rather than going back and searching Microsoft Office again and creating a new file, you can simply come to File, and we have this new here, and if you click on New, you're going to end up to the same point where we were, and we have now all this. Now by the way, if I create another new file, then on the taskbar down here, on this taskbar here, you'll see we'll have two files. Anyway, let me just go back, And now from this case, I want us to familiarize with the way this window looks like. This window has tabs here, and just before tabs we have the quick access paths up here. Now these quick access paths allow you to do some quick like access some of the functions quickly. Like for example, this one is save, and by the way we have this drop down menu here. If you click on it, then you're going to see more items that you can add on that quick access bar. So for example, I can add there the quick print, and there we have an icon for quick print. I can uncheck the quick print, and now it's gone. It's no longer part of these things. Now I can check mail, and now it is there. It's part of these quick items. And then I can uncheck the mail again, and it will be no longer part of this. By the way, you can customize on whatever you'd like to be found on this quick access, and just that. Now just below it we have these tabs, and each tab has its own ribbon. So we have a tab for home, it has this ribbon, and each ribbon is again divided into sections, again sometimes called tabs again. Now it may be confusing as into which tab we are talking about, but let me just call these sections and then call this main one the tab. Now for example, the home tab has a ribbon, and this ribbon has sections, clipboard, font, paragraph, and styles, then editing. Now for instance, you may not be seeing the ribbon because for example yours has maybe having something like that. So if I click there, the ribbon disappears, and for you to see the ribbon you need to click on whichever tab you're interested in. For example, if I click on insert tab, then there we go, we have the insert tab ribbon. It's displayed down here. But again, something else that you should know is that if you come down here and you try to start typing, then the ribbon disappears. Now how can you make sure that the ribbon is fixed? Just come to whichever tab you're interested in, click on that, and the moment you see the ribbon, then towards the far right we have this pin. If you click on this pin, it's going to pin this ribbon here, and therefore it means that it's not going to disappear. So just like that, and then it's now permanent. Even if you come here and try to type, everything is just fine. Now additionally, you can notice that apart from the tabs above here, also below here we have more items. We have the page, and now we're on page 1 out of 1. We have 0 words because we've not typed anything. But by the way, if I type something like Microsoft Office, like let me just type Office like so, now I have 1 word, and now I can say Office Pro, and now you see I have 2 words here. So then we have the proofing errors. This one is found under review. We'll come to it when we'll be doing some preview of our work. And then down here we also have this one also found under view. We have the modes. Right now we are on print mode, but you can also check on read mode, and then the web layout. We'll come to this when we'll be talking about the view review sections. Then the last bit here is the magnifier. Actually, I like to call it the magnifier, although it's the zoom function. So this slider here, you can slide this way to zoom out, or slide to the left, to the right to zoom in, or put it at 100% like that. It depends on how you'd like to see these things. Now that is it for introduction. So if you found this video helpful, consider subscribing and like for the YouTube algorithm. Otherwise, yeah, that's it. Let's stop there and continue in the next video.